Hello, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about two more modifiers, and this time it's going to be the mirror modifier and the array modifier, right? So I'm just going to delete this guy real quick, and let's go and jump into the mirror modifier real quick. I'm going to create a plane just for this example, all right? And let's go to the mirror section here. Remember this this little window here, the properties usually is right around here. And just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just gonna split vertical, horizontal split right there, and I'm gonna add the properties right there, and I'm going to take this off from here, and I'm just gonna join to the left. There you go, just like that. Your Blender should look something like this. So I'm just gonna go to the mirror modifier section. I'm going to add a modifier and go to generate, and I'm gonna select mirror right here. All right, you don't see anything right now, because the object is, but it's right there. You're gonna see it now in a minute. So right now I have it on the x-axis. So right now it's going to mirror the positive side to the negative side. So if I go here and select this two vertices right there and I move it to the x-axis, this is what's going to happen right there. So you see now that if we move it, it kind of overlaps and goes away from the pivot point. And that's a key element to know. The mirror modifier is going to use the pivot point of the object to create this, create the effect of the mirror, right? So we're going to select here clipping. We're going to move into the x-axis. Now it's going to snap right in the middle. Now we cannot move it anymore. You can move it in the z-axis and the y-axis, but not in the x-axis. It's going to be snapped right in the middle. That's exactly what we want here, because now you can just modify one side and the other one is just going to be right there, because it's exactly a copy of the object of this side right here. Yeah, I think you get it. So the idea behind mirror modifier is so you don't have to recreate the other side by hand every time you make a change. So right now, while making this change, the side is automatically being created in the other side, just like this. Just like this. Very useful. Let me select here. Gonna 3. I'm just gonna select that. There you go. Just like that. And if I extrude this right here, you can see that it's exactly in the other side. And if I select this, I'm literally jumping from face to edges real quick by selecting the numbers. So you can just do it right over here. Okay. And just like that, we have the mirror modifier in this perfect instance, because like I said, you had the mirror modifier, you had the pivot point right in the center, so that's exactly what it's doing right now. I'm gonna move this to the side right here real quick, and I'm gonna add another plane right here. I'm gonna move it right there, and I'm gonna move the pivot point right there in this corner right there, okay? I'm going to Shift S, cursor selection to cursor selected, cursor to select this. Oops, for a minute, this went away from me. Right click and set origin origin to 3D cursor. Now the origin is not in the center; it's right in the corner right there. So to make it, to make things easy, this is gonna immediately put the mirror modifier right there, as you can see, because it's using the pivot point as to flip this object to the other side perfectly in the center, right? So just have in mind that let's say that, for example, what if you want to flip something you make in the center here, something you make right here to the other side? It's not going to do it because your pivot point is right there. So in order to do that, you're going to have to move it right in the center. And there's a few things that you can do to do that. In this case, let me just go real quick. Absolute grid snap. And I'm going to snap the 3D cursor right in the center of the grid. This is just me right now real quick, just to show you, I'll put it right there. And now in this instance, if I select here Y, it's going to be also mirrored to the Y axis. I'm just going to move it kind of like that. right here. I'm going to select clipping, just like that. So now we're mirroring this whole side, and this back side right here is being mirrored just like this. Just because we're mirroring the x-axis to the side and the y-axis to the back side. So if I turn it off, this is what we have. That's essentially what we have. All of this stuff is being generated. I mean, it's being copied literally just to the other side. Like in this case, if I turn it off, we're only mirroring the x-axis, as you can see right there, just like that. All right, so if I select this one right here and I create like a, I don't know, if I may create another one right there, put on the x-axis, and I select this, and kind of do something like that, and maybe like this, maybe like that. I don't know. This is just so you can see the power of the mirror modifier when modeling your own objects. So this is super useful. And all right, so now let's see another example here. I'm going to put the 3D cursor right there. What I'm doing is I'm right click and with shift right click, and then control to snap the 3D cursor right in the grid. And if you have absolute increment snap, it's going to snap the 3D cursor right on each section of the grid. All right. So I'm going to put a cube right there. And actually, I'm going to, just to make this more clear, let me just move it right there. And I'm going to just reset the location right to the center of the grid. Right. And I'm just going to move it kind of right there. Let's say that you have this object and you want to mirror exactly from the center here to the other side, but you don't want to modify the pivot point of this object because maybe it's important to the object to have its own pivot point. So the way to do this, you can use a object pivot point. In order to do that, right now I'm just going to use an empty, and I'm going to go with let's go with arrows right here. Yeah. And then I'm going to select the cube, and I'm going to generate, and I'm going to mirror. And now in mirror, we're going to select mirror object right here. I'm going to select right here, this right here, and I'm going to click on empty. You can do that, or you can just select it from here. But what if your scene has a ton of objects, and just to do that is going to be kind of crazy just to select it exactly right there, right? So this eyedropper is easy to just select right there. So immediately you can see that it's mirroring to the x-axis. So whatever you do here is going to be mirroring to the other side. Whatever you do to this object is going to be mirrored to this object right here, because we're using the center, this center right here, this empty right here, this object, as the center of this object, and it's going to mirror to the other side. Hope that makes sense. So this also, like, it will let you kind of do this kind of stuff, because you just rotate in the center of this object, and you can just do whatever you want on this one. So you can also use the other mirror locations, I guess, the other axis, something like this. It was still, it's just totally functional. This object is completely copied to the other side, so just have that in mind. This is another option for you to do that kind of stuff, just like that. And if you have, for example, if you have an object right here, I'm gonna snap another cube right here, and you want to have the pivot point right there. Right click, origin to 3D cursor, same thing, generate, mirror, and voila. And now it's just a whole object. You just move the pivot point to another location, and now it's using just something like this. Now it's using just a center, because you just move the pivot point. It's kind of like this, but we're using a fake pivot point right here, or an object just to do that. And I used an empty, but you can literally use anything else. Okay, let's say that you have this cube right here, and right here I'm gonna have this plane. Apply the scale, and if I go to mirror, select this right here, location. Oops. Oh, I literally just reset the location. Or 3D cursor. There you go. Sorry. So I literally just reset the location of the, the pivot point of the object. That's why it was all the way over there. I'm so confused. Anyways, so yeah, you can use literally any object just to create a mirror object, literally. Just like a fake, like a working pivot point, literally. You would just put it right there and it would just do the same thing, just like that. All right, let's talk about the array modifier. I'm just gonna delete this guy again, and I'm going to add a plane. What it used to be, the modifier will just create copies of the same object, and you will just manipulate that later. Like for example, if you want to make a chain, you will just use a curve and you can modify that, right? So let's see what the new one looks like. I'm just going to select over here and let's go to deform, actually generate, and this will be the new one. This is the old one, this is the new one, right? So immediately we'll get these 3 copies right here, okay? This is like the endpoint of what of this object right here, and you can just modify this by literally just the spacing here of the offset of the 3 copies you got created here, right? This is kind of like, I don't know, modifying, trying to like offset in the object, and this manipulator is literally just the offset. This offset right here, just how you use it. That's literally, they just, instead of using the numbers right here, this stuff right here, you would just grab this and just move it around, and that's how you will move it. So you have, let's say they have 5. The end point here is literally, it will just move these manipulators to the all the way to the end. This is what you can do right now. This is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty cool. To do that before is just gonna, yeah, it'll be kind of crazy. All right, so let's do the curve thing. All right, I'm just gonna add this curve here, and I'm going to scale it up, and I'm gonna apply the scale. All right, I'm gonna select it right here, and I'm going from line all the way to curve. Right now, it just disappears right now. I'm just gonna select the curve, and voila. Just like that. Now we just need to select the proper axis up, how you want to, that's it. And it would just put as many counts as you want. Select the curve. I'm just gonna scale it up over here, and I'm gonna select, and I'm gonna add a subdivision. I literally, what I just did is just select all the both ends, both vertices right here, and I just right click, subdivide. And now you can just do this kind of stuff. This has gotten way, way, way simpler. Wow. I'm actually really happy that they decided to revamp this modifier because it actually needed this rework. So you can just, so before it will be, you can still do the same thing, but it will be like a little rudimentary, I guess. But look at that. Very easy, simple stuff. Just like that. Just kind of like this. All right, that's it. I guess. Very simple, right? That's how essentially how you would do it. Let me just create another one. It's got a curve. Let's add a cube here, and let's go to generate array. Again, this is the offset. You can offset them also in rotation. You can see right there. You can just do this kind of stuff here. You can offset well, not individually, but the copies, I guess. You can just offset them. Also scale them up. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Guess there is this randomization here. Then you can just play around with it. Also for scale, rotation, and transform. Let me just go back here. So yeah, there's a bunch of other options. If you go to circle here, it'll be kind of like the same. Just grab this right here and just offset that. If we add a bunch of copies, this is what it would do. Wow. Before it would be like, oh, okay, I'm going to start talking about before because this is the update. This is the future right here. So this is actually pretty cool. I'm very happy that this got an update. It's just incredible. Look at that. Just with a little click, you can just pick any kind of oh my gosh, I'm thinking in so many ways that this actually got way better. Incredible. All right, so there you have it. The array modifier, the new updated array modifier, way easier. I would recommend for you to like play around with it. It's super simple, very straightforward. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.